Welcome to our post Q2 earnings call Q&A session, where many of you have posted online some questions that you want Jon and I to cover. So let's kick it off. First question is, can you share with us any updates on the ERX certification process? More specifically, which certifications are being sought and how far along the process are you with each? So we've always highlighted there are three areas of certification. There's NHTSA, CARB, and EPA. Very excited to share on today's earnings call that we have passed our NHTSA certification. Now, this is a self-certification process where we go through all of the required FMVSS testing procedures. We've done those, and we're pleased to say we've passed. Now that leaves CARB and the EPA. So we've submitted the documentation we need to CARB in order to obtain that certification, and we believe we are on track to do so by the end of the third quarter. EPA is then submitting your CARB certification with the EPA and then obtaining an EPA cert. So we believe we are on track to do all three of those. One's already done, two more remaining by the end of Q3 to then start shipping vehicles later this year. Next question is demand still there for the ERX despite the buzz around KARNO and FCEV? Will the ERX have an opportunity or chance to gain traction before these other solutions come online? So wanted to touch on Hyliion's roadmap a little here, where the Hypertruck ERX is our solution that goes into production later this year. And solutions like KARNO are still multiple years away to being in a vehicle. We are going to deliver them in stationary applications next year. And then from a fuel cell vehicle standpoint, at this stage, all we've done is started a development vehicle project with Hyliion. That truck's now up and running, but we have not yet established any go-to-market commercialization timelines or put any effort towards the commercialization of that solution at this stage. So the Hypertruck ERX is the solution here to shine right now, and we see it as the solution that will be delivering to fleets over the next few years. But we see the KARNO as a solution that is one that brings forward more benefits than a ICE engine, and one that we do see that will take over market share. Next question is, can you share more on the supply chain surcharges? If prices are constantly fluctuating, how are you making sure that Hyliion will eventually get to positive margins on the ERX?
Hey, I'll take that one. Great question. I think everybody who's paying attention to the economy knows that inflation is still a phenomenon that's out there. It's alleviated from the highs that we saw last year, but we're still seeing that in certain components, not everything, but certain components. So there's a number of things we could do. One is we can look for different suppliers of certain components. We're working on design changes, but also as we ramp up volume, as the industry ramps up volume of electrified powertrains, prices should come down. The more components that are produced or the more vendors that are out there, that usually prices follow that. So we would consider it a short-term hiccup, something that we're working on and will be alleviated over time because of those factors. But it is still something that we're facing right now.
Next question is, when do you expect to move from in-house production of the ERX to mod centers and or OEM integration? So our focus right now for these initial 30 trucks has been primarily on in-house, but I am pleased to share that we're also going to be working on mod center installation during that timing as well, getting a mod center teed up and having them go through the process of an installation so that as we go into 2024, we would have the capability to not only just leverage our in-house manufacturing capabilities or assembly capabilities, but also then scale volume with a mod center as we go forward. In terms of OEM integration, this is really something that OEMs want to see you go show the demand for the product, go grow volumes, leverage the existing resources that are out there like the mod centers to do all that. And then as your volumes increase, that's when they'll actually pull it into an online assembly process. Next question was, how do you see the competition from the truck manufacturers themselves, like Daimler, Volvo, or Scania? Why should they buy the Hyliion powertrain, or isn't it easy for them to use their financial power to come up with their own solutions or to copy Hyliion's idea? So this is a good question and one that we touched on slightly on today's earnings call, but the OEMs have focused their development dollars, as far as we've seen, primarily towards BEV type solutions, plug-in electric solutions. That's what the likes of of Daimler or Volvo are delivering today. Now those are going to use the grid to recharge. They're going to have 100, 200, some are claiming up to 250 miles of range. And those solutions in some instances are available today or will be available in the near term, the years ahead. So we haven't seen the OEMs focus on their development dollars on the range extender solutions. And so that's where we can come in and we can offer them a kind of turnkey solution to not only have their own BEV solution, but also now have a range extender. And then, our goal as we go forward will be to work to prevent decontenting of our powertrain, right? We want to be able to have differentiated solutions like the KARNO generator that will allow us to prevent decontenting as the OEMs ultimately look to vertically integrate themselves. Next question is, what impact is the downturn in the trucking industry and high interest rates having on your ability to sell trucks? Are mandates offsetting these headwinds, or should we expect limited sales until these conditions improve sometime in 24?
Yeah, I'll take that. So back to the economy again. I think fleets are experiencing something what they call a freight recession. So volumes are down, but they're also continuing to buy trucks. Truck purchases were not as high as they could have been in recent years because of supply chain problems and the inability of OEMs to deliver all the trucks that the fleets needed. So, currently, but then as that works itself off, as interest rates are starting to come into play, we'll probably see a little bit more slowdown in terms of purchases. But then I think the electrified market is a little bit different, where most fleets are interested in purchasing. They do want to purchase one or a handful of trucks just to experience them, whether it's a BEV, ERX, or a fuel cell truck. They do want to purchase them, get them into their fleets and try them out. So it's really not an immediate phenomenon that we're expecting or we're experiencing, but it's something that's going on more in the traditional markets. We do see longer term that the mandates like ACT, ACF, those are still out there, and they're going to continue to drive sales, both for pushing the OEMs to sell more trucks, and then the ACF, which is a requirement that the fleets purchase more trucks. So we do expect those will continue, and those will be a tailwind for us, especially as time goes by.
And then the last question we had is Hyliion looking to outsource any manufacturing or 3D printing production that would be out of their capacity? And I think this is specifically related to KARNO. Or do we look to invest more in manufacturing equipment capabilities in-house for future demand? So it's a really good question. And as you likely know, our model to date has been more capital light. We've embraced that as we've gone through the development of the Hypertruck ERX. And as we look at the KARNO solution, additive manufacturing, while it's up and coming, it's not brand new. It's been around for a while, and many industries like aerospace, healthcare have strongly embraced additive manufacturing. There are contract manufacturing houses out there that you can leverage and utilize to go make your parts so that you don't have to buy that equipment yourself. It's actually something we're looking at internally of what are the pros and cons of going each way. Right now, as we're in the R&D, early development stages, next year, low volume manufacturing, we'll be doing that manufacturing in-house. We have our own equipment. We've recently bought some more machines in order to be able to grow our production capability. But as we look long-term at scaling, that's when we'll do a cost-benefit analysis and looking at what's it going to cost us to buy equipment versus what financing could we get versus just using contract manufacturers. So more to come on that, but we do a lot of the manufacturing ourselves right now around the KARNO. So those are the questions we wanted to address post earnings call. If you didn't get a chance to see it, please do go read the transcript or tune into that earnings call to learn more about what happened in Q2. Thanks, everyone.